What's up everyone, it's Caddy with MoneyVest Real Estate, and in today's video wanted to give you a little bit of an update on where I'm at with the whole process of buying my first property here in Dubai. And after a lot of due diligence and a lot of research and a lot of waiting, I have finally finalized the property that I want, and we are about halfway through the deal, and tomorrow is the big day, so I'll keep you guys updated. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of a vlog type video as well, because tomorrow I have to go to the trustee office or the registration office, and there's about 14 different registrar and trustee offices all over Dubai, and they're operated by government officials, appointed by Dubai Land Department, and the transfer happens at these offices, right? So the buyer and the seller, they're both present with the agent. My lawyer is going to be there as well, and there's going to be a transfer process that happens where I, as the buyer, pay the cash in checks or physical cash or whatever the mode of payment is, and the seller transfers over of course, documentation, the ownership of the property, the key cards, everything that is required to be transferred over, like the title and everything else. So tomorrow is that day for myself, but I am buying an off-plan property, and what that means is that it is not constructed yet, so it hasn't completed construction, because there's a lot of construction happening in Dubai. I was able to finalize a property that had a payment plan, and payment plan meaning that you kind of pay in milestones as the project is being completed. And right now it's about 45% complete, and the expected completion date is March of 25. So yes, it is a little bit farther away, and I'm most likely not going to see any ROI between now and March of 25, and it could get delayed as well. So I'm kind of taking into account at least a year that I'm not going to see any ROI. But the idea behind this is mostly related to equity appreciation, in other words, capital appreciation, with regards to the equity that I am building into this property. And the reason for that is I was able to negotiate, and this price was already too attractive, and I was still able to negotiate a little bit further for a very, very attractive price, probably one of the lowest prices for the units being sold, because the seller that I'm buying from is taking a loss on this transaction because she wants to sell, because she's not from Dubai, she doesn't live in Dubai. She and her husband basically invested in this property during the times of distress over in Ukraine and Russia. So she's actually from Russia, the seller. So they bought a lot of, as we already know, a lot of Russian money kind of moved into Dubai as they were going through a lot of turmoil. And now, of course, people want out because they want, things are more stable now, a couple of years later. And for that reason, they basically bought this property to park cash. And now they want out because, like I said, they don't live in Dubai. They don't want to be here. They never lived in Dubai. So I was able to get a really, really attractive price. Unfortunately, of course, they're taking a loss. I'm getting it basically at original price, what the developer sold them at. I'm going to go over all the specifics and all the details once the deal is closed and once it's finalized and everything is done. I'll kind of walk you through the show apartments. I'll take you around. I'll kind of show you what the finished product looks like, and again, I will run through the numbers. I'll go over the original price, sale price, how much I paid in closing cost, and everything, the whole process, all the contracts involved, all the different documentation, because I basically have a folder this big, a really, really big folder of all documentation, all the paperwork, everything with the apartment itself, the unit that I'm getting, the floor plan, the view, everything. I've got a stack this big of all papers that I've done all the diligence and, of course, run all the numbers and kind of doing my checks on the property. So the price was too attractive. And another thing to keep in mind in Dubai especially is developer, right? Developer quality is very, very important. And, after a lot of research, after a lot of understanding how different markets and different areas work and different developers operate, I really just wanted to finalize on 2 to 3 developers that I wanted to buy from. The first one being Emaar. Emaar, as you'd already know, if you live in Dubai, if you've been to Dubai, or even if you have never heard of Emaar, just know that Emaar is the best developer in the United Arab Emirates. They own and build a lot of infrastructure here in Dubai. More specifically, you've heard of Burj Khalifa, built by Emaar. You've heard of Dubai Mall, built by Emaar. So Emaar is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, developers in the UAE, both on the residential and commercial side. But the problem is that, over time, as they've gotten this reputation of being the best, their price per square footage has gone up significantly. It's basically shot up to a point where, you're paying twice, in some cases 3 times as much as the average price per square feet in that area. And for that reason, I'm kind of priced out of that market for Emaar properties. And more specifically, when you combine Emaar with their recent development and a very up and coming development, which is called Dubai Hills Estate. It's kind of like Beverly Hills of Dubai. Very, very nice area. Second biggest mall in the world, Dubai Hills Mall, also built by Emaar. And a lot of residential towers are built by Emaar as well. An amazing area. And that was kind of like my goal. That's where I wanted to go. That's where I wanted to be. And eventually that's where I want to be, and kind of, have my family be there as well. But again, prices are too high, price per square footage basis. I'm priced out of that market because everything starts at 1.2, 1.3 million dirhams, which is roughly around 300, 400,000 US dollars. And I don't want to dump all that cash into one deal, because another thing with me is that right now I don't qualify for financing in the UAE because I've only been here for 6 months, 8 months. So I can get a mortgage because I'm also a business owner. So there's a lot of things, right? A lot of restrictions with me personally because I'm a business owner, and also I've only been here for 6 months, 8 months. I moved here in July of last year. My business accounts started in November. So I need at least 1 year of history here in the UAE before banks see me as a reasonable risk and they can start lending money to me. So this one that I'm buying right now is all cash. And I didn't want to dump all that cash into one single deal with Emaar. But the one that I'm actually getting is in JVC. It's a Jumeirah Village Circle, a very, very nice area. It's, rental yields are very high. It's not so amazing as Dubai Hills Estate because of accessibility wise. Dubai Hills Estate, I would argue, is much better, closer to both Palm Jumeirah and the downtown Dubai area. And it's also a whole community operated and built by Emaar, so much better sort of standards. JVC is a little bit of a different area, of course. There's a lot of different residential units from a lot of variety of different developers, but the one that I'm buying from is the second best, in my opinion. The one that is seeked out by a lot of investors and homeowners is Ellington Properties. And Ellington Properties, if you ask anybody who's lived in Dubai or is in the UAE or has heard of a lot of developers, they'll tell you Ellington Properties is also a very, very nice and of course one of the top developers quality wise, and price per square footage much better than that of Emaar. Of course, it's also in JVC, right? So it's not in Dubai Hills Estate. So that's another thing. But yeah, I mean, the price was actually very good, very attractive. Instantaneously after closing, I'm able to build a very solid equity into the home. And as the homes here in Dubai are getting built, especially if it's from a quality developer like Ellington or Emaar or Dayar, the prices go up as they get closer and closer to handover. So my expectation would be that right now the market prices for these properties the one that I'm closing in on tomorrow, knock on wood, everything goes well, fingers crossed. The one that I'm closing in, I'm instantaneously getting about a 30 to 35% capital appreciation. And by the time I get to handover, the idea would be to get to at least 40 to 50% capital appreciation. But of course, I'm not planning to sell. Either I'm going to be living in it myself or I'm going to be renting it out. And the rental yields, I'm sure, would also be pretty solid because I've already run the numbers. And like I said, I will be going over all of that in a separate, more dedicated video once the deal is done, once it's closed. I'll go over everything because there's going to be a balance payment left to the developer that's going to be due at the end of the completion. In other words, once it's completed, once the property is handed over to me, I make one final payment to the developer and then I get handed over the keys and that basically the document, which is called Uqud here in Dubai. It's just an ownership document. It essentially states that I'm the owner of that property, turns into a title. So it's called a pre-title. Uqud is called a pre-title, and it'll turn into a title once completion is done, handover is done, and I make that final payment. The developer will hand over the title to that property to myself. So that's the whole process. Tomorrow is the big day. I've already got everything done. I've got the cash, I've got the checks, I've got everything. All the documents are in place. My lawyer is meeting me at 10:30 at the registrar office, and then we are meeting with the seller and the agent at 11 a.m. I'll keep you guys posted with everything, and we'll run through all the financials in another video. So thank you so much. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video. Kind of nervous a little bit, but it's my first deal, so hopefully everything goes well. Take care.